Okay, we've been talking a lot about AB 1127, which is the Glock ban bill, and I'm happy to announce that AB 1127 is gone almost. We're pretty sure that it's gone, but we want to talk about exactly what is happening. You've probably heard that, hey, it's been put in the suspense file. Well, what does that mean? Well, let's go back and talk about it. I want to talk specifically about what the bill would do. We all know what the bill would do. We've talked a lot about that. It would, in effect, ban all Glocks and even some other makes and models. And everybody was pretty worried about this thing. This was a far-reaching extremist bill, but let's talk about exactly what happened here. Well, it was introduced in February of 2025, so earlier this year. It passed a lot of different committees. You know, when a bill is introduced, it has to go to various committees where they focus in on one aspect of the bill. So it actually passed through the public safety bill, the judiciary bill, the public safety committee, the judiciary committee, and then appropriations. I have no idea how it got past the judiciary committee because this thing was clearly unconstitutional, but of course we're talking about Sacramento here. It passed the assembly floor on June 3rd, 2025. That's a huge step. For those of you who remember your civics, we have two houses, we have an assembly, and we have a state senate. And this means that the entire assembly passed this bill as is and said, yes, we want to ban all Glocks. It was amended in the Senate on July 3rd. And its current status as of today, the bill is engrossed and has been referred to the Senate Appropriations Committee's suspense file. Now, what does that mean? So what does engrossed mean? Engrossed means that it was passed by the House where it actually began, and it's waiting for the second House to approve it. So like we said, it began in the Assembly, which is why it's AB 1127. It began in the Assembly and was passed as is and is waiting for the second House. That's called engrossed. Once it passes both houses and it's waiting for the governor's signature, then it's called enrolled. Is that really important for you to know? Probably not, but that's part of the vocabulary that you're going to see as you start to watch more and more bills. So what's the suspense file? You know, a lot of people are saying, oh, it's in the suspense file, therefore it's dead. But what exactly does that mean? What exactly is the suspense file? Well, each house, both the Senate and the Assembly, has a suspense file. And bills go to the suspense file if they are estimated to cost the state more than $50,000 from the general fund or more than $150,000 from any special fund. So basically, if they have a certain cost associated with them, then that's what qualifies them. It's essentially a holding place for the committee to weigh in on more expensive bills before deciding which ones should actually move forward. A few times each session, the Appropriations Committee actually holds a suspense file hearing where they actually look at the bills that are put in the suspense file. And at that hearing, they can quickly announce that bills are being released or moving forward to a floor vote, and which are actually being held in the suspense file rather than moving forward, which effectively kills it for the year. They're pretty much, if they're continue to be held in the suspense file and aren't being moved to the floor, then for this year, for this session, they're pretty much dead. There's no public debate. It's a rapid up or down, like yes or no vote, and the decision's based on really budget impacts. So being in the suspense file doesn't officially kill it, but it's at a make or break stage, and only bills the Appropriations Committee deems worth the cost actually make it out. So really, people are confident that this thing's going to die because most bills that get put in the suspense file do die. But the other part of this is AB 1127 is such an immense bill. It's such an intricate bill. There are so many moving parts to this thing, and it's such an extreme bill. Even those that support it understand that it moving to the suspense files for a simple up and down vote means they're not going to get a floor vote. It means that it's pretty much there. It's dead. Even the people that maybe supported it, even the people that maybe support anti-gun laws up in Sacramento are going, you know what, this thing's way too big. It's done. I think we've gone too far. this year in its present form, we're done. We're just sending it to the suspense file. So that's why people are saying it's dead, and the California Senate Appropriations Committee is actually scheduled to meet on Monday. Let's see, it'd be it's August 25th. Tomorrow.
Yeah.
If you're watching this on Sunday. The committee will review bills placed on the suspense file, including AB 1127. And that session, of course, is critical, but we're pretty confident that this means it is dead. Goodbye for now, AB 1127 and your Glock ban. So what do you guys think?
I think it's great news. This is like the most exciting news I've heard in a little while about Second Amendment stuff, because this bill had the chance to really take away a lot of people's rights. There's a ton of people in California who only own Glocks, shoot Glocks, and while they would still technically for now be allowed to possess them, this is just one short step behind, not being able to sell your Glock, not being able to send it out of state to have work done to it and brought back into state. Like all of that stuff is just one short step away from not being able to possess them. So I was nervous about the implications of what this meant in the future. And it's great to hear that even though it didn't die for the best reason, because everybody was like, this is unconstitutional, right, at least it died.
Well, and maybe a lot of the folks who, maybe part of the reason it ended up in the suspense file is that some of the folks who were like, hey, this is even too far. But at least this allows them to save face with their anti-gun district,
Exactly.
But,
and it's a slippery slope, because the argument that they had and the catalyst behind this was the whole Glock switch.
Right.
Which, scary to think, if you think this through, that modification has the potential to have been applied, or with a modification, to any semi-automatic. So if they win here, who's to say that all of our semi-autos don't go the same path?
The other thing,
this is important.
It is very important. The other thing is, even though this thing's ridiculous, and I'm confident we would have won in court, we still have to raise the money and give it to an attorney, and the attorney has to, and this is hundreds of thousands of dollars we're talking,
if not more.
So this is hundreds of thousands of dollars that can be put to better use.
Right. Well, sometimes I think they just make these laws up intentionally to waste our time so that we don't have time to fight all of their laws.
No question.
Like this clearly was never going to hold up in court, but they were still willing to try to push it through so that people like you and, FPC and SAF and all the people can't, do anything about it.
Yep. It's really difficult to find funding for a big case like this.
Yeah.
And it's not making it easier when they just throw a bunch of stuff at the wall. So there you go. So for now, AB 1127 and the Glock ban that it was going to enact are gone. We're about 99% sure, but there's a very, very, very slight chance it could come back. But anyway, I wanted to explain AB 1127. I want to explain the suspense file to you. So now you're informed. So there you go.
Yeah, and if you guys want to track bills on your own, there is a really cool website that I use called fastdemocracy.com, and you can go to the bill search feature and look up any bill that's in the system right now. So if I look up AB 1127, I can see, all of the dates of what committees it went to, whether it passed or failed, who voted yes and who voted no within that committee. So it's just a really interesting way to kind of keep up on bills if you're interested in that sort of thing. I guess that's a little nerdy. Not everybody probably wants to do that, but it's a fun little website if you've got some time on a Sunday afternoon.
Good. Awesome resource. Hey, thanks for watching Gun Owners Radio. I hope you loved that clip. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and follow us on social media, and check out our website at gunownersradio.com.